The lovely Lisa Edelstein joins us for a house call with all the latest from Fox's hit medical drama.
Get one of your lackeys to do it.
Stay with us. Lisa Edelstein from the hit show House is in our house.
Shielding a child abuser isn't covered. Cooperate with this investigation or I'll fire you. It wasn't morphine.
What did you give me? I told you I wanted...
It was saline. I gave you a placebo.
We just saw a scene from Fox's highly popular House. And with us in studio is Lisa Edelstein, who plays hospital administrator Dr. Lisa Kari. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know, we were just so funny because right before the break, we were just talking about your eyes and how fabulous your eyes are and how they show up on camera. Even in the studio, they're gorgeous.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous. And they're intense, which is great for the intensity that you have with
his eyes are quite beautiful, too.
Yeah.
Hugh's eyes are amazing.
With Hugh Laurie's eyes. Amazing,
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
How did you come to be cast on this show? Because this was made by Bryan Singer, who did the X-Men, correct?
Yes. It was the normal route of auditioning and auditioning again and auditioning again.
Well, now, we've seen you. You've played a call girl on The West Wing.
Yes.
You played a transsexual
on Ally McBeal.
Mm-hmm. You've played a lesbian
on Relativity.
And a nymphomaniac on
Frasier.
So first off, I love you. And secondly, did this role seem a bit mundane for you, or are you happy to be playing someone who's relatively balanced?
Well, that's true. Playing somebody who doesn't have some kind of sexual definition up first is an interesting challenge. Like, oh, she's just a gal who happens to be really brilliant and smart and funny and clever and dresses well.
The great chemistry of the show is the magnetism, the attraction, and the detraction that you guys have.
The relationship.
You're adversaries, but you're not really adversaries, which makes it interesting. It's layered because it makes you go, what's the possibility of them having, pardon the French, fierce sex?
Yeah, I think
eventually,
so too.
because of all the complicated people that they are, because he's complicated in his own right. Hugh Laurie's character's House is complicated. Your character is very complicated, and I want to see more of that connection happen. I look forward to that.
Me too, and I think that they're going to start developing on that next year, at least towards the end of this season and then next year. I hope so, because I do think that they're really interesting, full human beings that would be interesting to see together.
Well, we've always seen many shows where the two leads have the sexual tension, and then it's like, okay, the foregone conclusion. When are they going to finally hook up?
You don't want them to.
Yeah,
like
and
Moonlighting, you don't want them
really
to.
avoided that very creatively and really drawn out a lot more tension and backstory with these characters in this season.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling that your two characters may have been involved before this, and we haven't seen that yet.
We've mentioned it, that we knew each other, and but we haven't mentioned in detail how well we knew each other. And even though I have an idea, they haven't written it down, so...
Do they tell you?
I could be wrong. Well, I told them what I thought my relationship had been with him, and they loved it. But whether or not that's what they're going to run with, I don't know.
And can you tell us what that is?
No.
Oh, well.
Because if I tell you, then that's what people are going to think it is. And really, they haven't written it down. Okay. So if they haven't written it down, then they could change
Just
it.
give us a little hint. No, not even.
She's not going to tell you. Don't pressure the girl.
Just asking from woman to woman, just asking from woman to woman. Now, what complexities are you bringing to this character? Because there's something that's so internal. I know you can't give away any secrets, but there's something so internal. How do you prepare for a character like this?
You know, you can just bring yourself to it and put yourself in that circumstance, play within the realm of that reality. That's the fun thing about being an actor. You go, okay, here I am. Now I'm running a hospital. Now I get to do this. I didn't have to go to medical school. I didn't have to, suffer my way through all those tests. But I can pretend to be in this world, and it's really exciting to do that. I love it. Plus, there's so many great props and special effects that we get to play with, that you can kind of make yourself believe it.
And I'm always interested in how everyone has to memorize all these medical terms and conditions.
Yeah, Anaveronone can cause arrhythmia and thrombocytopenia was my favorite line this year.
Actually, we already knew that here on the show.
Yeah.
This past week's episode had a very unique subplot where House had come to you for some morphine because he wanted some help with painkillers, and in the end he comes back to you and wants more, and your character reveals...
that I gave him a placebo. I loved that, actually, when I read that. I was really excited about it because he trusts me enough. I loved that you saw that he trusts me enough to come for help above and beyond anybody else, that he knows I'll keep it between us and that I will respect his needs. But at the same time, she's taking care of him even beyond what he expected. Like she can see beyond his request into what's really going on. They understand each other that well.
Well, we have a lot more to talk about with you, both with House and your other TV projects you've done before. So stay tuned. A lot more with Lisa Edelstein when we come back.
I think it was probably SNL. We're back with Lisa Edelstein from the hit TV show House.
Hi.
Hi. You know what? We were just talking on. It's really great because you pick up a lot of information on break, and we found out you are an amazing animal advocate. You have some animals that are adopted.
I have 3 rescued dogs, and they're all something's wrong with all of them. One has a short leg and a reconstructed hip and a fused foot. One has brain damage, and the other one has just got emotional issues.
And what made you adopt these dogs?
I don't know. It just kind of happened. The first one was the daughter of a stray that my friend had found. The stray was pregnant, and she gave birth. And this dog became my roommate's dog at the time. This is a long time ago now. And then the dog got hit by a car. The roommate couldn't deal with it, and I took over and became her mother, for better. I can't figure out how else to put it.
I think that's a great way of, if you're a nurturer, absolutely.
Yeah.
How do you deal with a career, this huge career, and this main character on House, and taking care of these needy animals?
Well, they're not needy anymore. First of all, they have each other. I've had them all for 10 years at least, and they're quite a nice little pack of dogs. I have a doggy door. They run outside. Either I take them hiking every day or somebody else does. They have the best life in the world for a dog.
Nice.
They each have their own little bed.
And they get to live with you.
They live with me. It's an amazing relationship. I have to say, I was talking about it with my friend the other day, when a relationship with an animal, once you get beyond a certain point after a few years when you really know each other and you've really bonded, it's terrifying because I'm on the other side of town sometimes, and I think, what if there's an earthquake? How am I going to get to my animals? What if something terrible happens and we have to leave? I think about the people, in New Orleans and Katrina. I get it, those people that stayed behind with their animals.
That's the same way my parents felt about their pets. Not the kids, but the pets.
Not the kids, but the pets.
Lisa, I have a question. How big of a club kid were you?
I was really into it, but I was young, and it didn't last that long. It was probably just 2.5 years of...
Were you a notorious club kid? And for those who don't know, how would you define a New York City club kid?
Well, it was before the actual club kid murders, but those people that were involved in that were just starting to become a part of the scene that I was in when I was skedaddling. You know what? It was really exciting. New York in those days was really exciting. It was Andy Warhol was still around, and all those people, and they were really interesting and amazing and strange and exciting. And I was just thrilled to be around. It was like the island of misfit toys, and everyone was incredibly talented, but in ways that did not translate whatsoever into the rest of the world. In fact, years later, when I ended up doing that show on MTV that I absolutely hated,
we've all done one of those on MTV.
Horrifyingly bad, terrifyingly embarrassing.
What was the show, for those who don't remember?
Awake on the Wild Side. I can't even watch,
roll your eyes to say that.
I can't watch one frame of it without getting upset. Not one frame. I see one frame and I'm freaked out. I mean, it's like bad 80s hair. I was much heavier, so I had these big boobs and really tight clothes because the person through the wardrobe was very petite. And, my shirts would pop open in the middle of... I mean, it was really bad.
Next time she's here, we'll have a clip for you.
But the thing that was great about it was that I was able to take people that I knew from that scene in New York and put them on and interview them and just get them on TV. And for them, it was exciting. And so for me, I got to share something that I was miserable doing, but they were really excited to do. I mean, being on national television and humiliated for 4 hours a day is really...
Deborah and I know what that's like.
You just paid your dues.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you've paid your dues.
It's time now for the cooler quiz.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to grill you on some questions. And you can't fail. What's great about the cooler quiz is you can never fail. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. Number 1, have you ever got into a yoga position you couldn't get out of? And can we see some downward dog?
No, I refuse to do downward dog.
Good for you.
One time when I was in this yoga position where both my legs were behind my head, it was before I got the LASIK surgery on my eyes, so I had contact lenses in. My contact lens disintegrated. It divided into 4 different pieces. And I literally had my ankles bound behind my head and my arms bound behind my back.
Love you.
When that happened. It was an interesting moment.
Okay. We will put you in two more suspense on this. One more. Does Hugh Laurie get fish and chips on the set?
No, never.
Well, actually, I'm going to do one more. If you were sick, what would you want House as your doctor, and why?
Yeah,
or why not?
I would definitely want House as my doctor.
Why?
Because I relate to people who are rudely funny that way. Okay. They have no editing skills. I'm right there.
He's got the good drugs.
And he's got the good drugs.
Right on.
Just
Lisa,
reach into his
thank
pocket.
you so much for coming here on
You are
Humble Little
gorgeous
Show.
and lovely. Thank you so much for coming.